Hello, welcome back to Our Pop Culture, and today we're going over the one and only Mabel. She's my pop newcomer of this week. And I understand that she's been out since 2015, but I feel like going based off of how came into her like over time, but never really like got into her stuff. It's newcomer to me in my eyes, and also the fact that she hasn't released an actual album yet. Is the last thing she released was like a playlist, which is mixtape, which I don't really count as albums. I count more like experimental albums. They're not really directly mainstream albums, but at the same time, I feel like this mixtape is the same thing as an album because she's compiling a lot of her singles that were on earlier. So before we get into that type of the mixtape, let me give you a background of stuff of how I came across her and also background about her. So she was born in Malaga, Spain, but she was raised in London. Her first song, which is funny because I got into her first song in 2015, is "Know Me Better," and I like that song. It kind of reminds me of like a very slow, like 90s R&B kind of sound with a little like kind of like a UK R&B sound, with they have like their own little sounds to it. I like it. I like that sound. So I listened to her and then I kind of just completely moved away. I didn't even think about her. Went all the way around. Didn't even think about her at all. I knew she was in my mind, but it never really crossed it. And then her breakout song that she did that got a lot of people's attention was in 2017, which is Finders Keepers, and I definitely like that song. The funny thing is that I thought when I first heard the song that she wasn't in it. Like I know her name was in it, but I was like, oh god, is she more like a feature in this? Because it kind of feels like she's like a feature because they immediately start you off with her singing her chorus, and then it immediately goes into a rap. So it made me think like, oh, maybe she's like featured in it, but she's in it. She has like 2 verses in it. It's a really good song. And then finally in 2017, and then in 2017, she also released an EP called Bedroom, which actually it kind of is actually a really interesting EP. Like I feel like it's pretty interesting. It's actually her. It came off as very sexual and also romantic in the same way. Like the 2 songs at the end are nicely romantic, by the ones in the beginning are a little more sexually charged. So you got Bedroom, Finders Keepers, Ride or Die, and Talk About Forever. Talk About Forever and Ride or Die are the ones that are more romantic, while the Bedroom and Finders Keepers are more of the sexual charged one. And then she comes in around 2018 and does Ring Ring with Jax Jones, who I'm totally doing a video on him. He is so underrated. I love his sound. His sound is literally my newest favorite EDM DJ right now. So she released Ring Ring, Ring Ring. They both released it, and it was more of a Jax Jones song. That's when I got back into her. I was like, ooh, this is a good song. Why does her voice sound so familiar? And I had thought about it. And during my kick of Jax Jones, I was like, oh my god, I think this is who I think it is. So I went back and I just scrolled through it, and I found that she had Know You Better, and I was like, okay, that's right. Okay, I do remember this, so I have to go backwards and kind of go through her stuff, and I did. And then she finally released, in 2019, this year, she released Ivy to Roses, which is her mixtape, which is actually has a lot of songs, and I can quickly neck them down. My favorite highlights is Don't Call Me Up. Oh, I love Don't Call Me Up. She has a great vocal. She also doesn't start off it starts off with no music, not all, has a little melody and thing, but it has no beat or anything. And then she's like, don't call me up, and it hits, and it just and it just it makes you want to do this, pretty much. Just do this all the time. And then it's Don't Call Me Up, One Shot was a really good song. Fine Line was a good one, which is she does. So this is a person that's been on her album or on this mixtape a lot, which is Note 3 Threes, which is NOT the number 3S, which is like notes, I guess. Maybe it's notes because it's E. He sometimes gets a 3, sometimes like notes. He's featured in like 3 of the songs on here. But then you have that one, Finders Keepers, is on this one. My Lover, it's another one that was really popular with notes. Ring Ring, Cigarettes, Ivy, Come Over, Begging, and all the way down to like the Weapon, Roses, and and then she does a good cover of Passion Fruit from Drake, which is I really like. It's actually interesting because it's with Drake. Sometimes I don't really understand what he's saying because he da 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 da. It feels like he's being held captive to do these songs. He's just like, I really just want to sleep. But yeah, so like I really like her. I think that she has a sound. Her way of talking about stuff is very interesting. Like for example, like her Bedroom EP was more sexual / romantic, while this one, the Roses or the Ivy to Roses mixtape, is much more independent. Kind of like just like Don't Call Me Up, which is the one, and then you got like she's over somebody, so she's going out, and she's like, don't call me or anything, I'm doing my own thing tonight. One Shot was that way. It's just like, you got one shot to impress me, or one shot to prove yourself, or else I'm just gonna go. I got better things to do. And just all those other ones, like, and just like it moves back and forth between like, she's like, it's lots. Actually, a better way of saying this is that she has more conflicts going on in her mixtape than she does in the Bedroom EP. So, in the best way. Like, they all have great stories. They're all complete great stories. So yeah, so I am excited to see what her album's gonna sound like. I pretty much kind of had an idea of what it's gonna sound like if she doesn't go too far away from the mixtape. And that's it. So let me know in the comments below if you like her. If so, tell me your favorite songs. Have you been following her since day one, or have you just gotten to her? You know, so we can kind of get into that type of world to see where we all stand. I'm very excited to see what she has to give. She has to offer. But yeah, that's it. So I hope everybody having a great Wednesday. Happy hump day to everybody. Happy Thursday to across seas. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.